Hi everyone and Namaskar. Today we will be talking about sale of shares held in physical form under various corporate actions which are in form of buyback, takeovers and delisting assignments. So first we will discuss about the legal provisions. Under the legal provisions, the Companies Act and SEBI law both do not permit transfer of shares in physical form. So you have to transfer shares in demat form only when you are selling the shares on a stock exchange. Otherwise also if you are doing an off-market transfer, then also you have to transfer the shares in demat form. So the said measure, why it has been implemented by the regulators? The said measure has been implemented so that it is for the ease of investors. It is for transfer of shares in a seamless manner without any delay, and to avoid any kind of loss in the transit or during the process of transfer. Now demat is a very faster means of transfer. Under demat, it is just simply like a bank account wherein you write a check, you deposit it with the bank and your money gets transferred. So same way under the demat account also, you write a delivery instruction slip, you transfer give the instruction to transfer the shares, and the shares get transferred within a fraction of second depending on the execution of the transfer slip. So basically the transfer of shares in demat form takes a single day, but when we go for transfer of shares in the physical form, it may take from 15 days to 30 days depending on the turnaround time of the company and the registrar and other operational issues. Under physical transfer of shares, there may be operational issues in terms of say non-availability of PAN number. There were certain issues in terms of bad signatures or signature not tallying. So all these things have been done away once the system has switched over to the transfer of shares in demat form. Then there is a lot of time. There are the cases where your physical shares get transferred, but you receive the certificate late, and by the time you receive the certificate you lose the opportunity to sell the shares in the market. So anyhow, in any manner, the physical share transfer is not beneficial to the investor, and therefore the demat transfer of shares have been taken over by regulators. There has been one exception to this rule. The exception is where SEBI has allowed transfer of physical shares in cases where the company had come out with a buyback, with an open offer, or with a delisting assignment. Under these situations, the investor can transfer the shares in physical form also, and the transfer will be accepted by the acquirer or by the company, whatever the process of buyback, open offer, takeover is being undertaken. So to understand this in more detail, we will see that what are these kind of terminologies called as buyback, open offers or takeovers and delisting. First of all, we will go with the takeover of shares. Under SEBI law, if in a listed company, any existing shareholder or promoter, they acquire shares beyond a certain threshold, or they acquire additional voting right beyond a certain threshold, they have to give an offer to the public shareholders of the company. Similarly, if a new person is coming up and taking over the management and control of the company, the new acquirer have to give an open offer to the remaining public shareholders of the company. So under this process, the acquirer had to give a mandatory open offer to the public shareholders at large, so that any shareholder who wants to sell the shares in the company, they can come ahead and sell the shares. This opportunity is being given because as a shareholder, I may not like to continue with the current management, with the new management, or if the current management is acquiring a higher stake, I may have my own reservation and I may want to move out of the company. So this is a situation of takeover. Now second is a buyback of shares. Under buyback of shares, the listed company itself purchases the share back and reduces the share capital. As the word says, buy back. So earlier when you had issued shares, and now when you are buying back the shares. Under buyback of shares, the company will purchase the shares, extinguish the capital and reduce their paid up capital and pay the money back to the investors. The third option, the third mode is delisting of shares. Under delisting of shares, the company gets delisted after the offer becomes successful. The promoter or the acquirer, they have to give an offer to the public shareholder. They have to acquire 90% or a certain specified percentage under the regulations. Once that percentage level is achieved, the company will get delisted after complying with the necessary regulatory requirements. So under all these three modes, there is a specific process required by SEBI regulations. All the three modes for listed company are governed by SEBI, different set of SEBI regulations. Now SEBI regulations require the acquirer or the company to give a offer document to the shareholders of the company. This offer document will contain various details and modalities that how you will tender the shares, at what price the shares are being tendered or being acquired by the acquirer, what is the overall process for tendering the shares, and when you will get the money. So under this process, the timelines are more or less same, wherein you will know this transaction of buyback, open offer or delisting is happening. You will know this at least 15-20 days or 1 month in advance before the actual offer opens. So you have ample of time. Now as a shareholder, you may be holding shares in physical form or demat form. If you are holding shares in demat form, it is very simple for you. You transfer the shares, you bid the shares, and you complete the process of tender of shares. However, if you are holding the shares in physical form, then you have to first either get the share transferred, because without demat form you cannot sell the shares. But now because of the SEBI exemption which we discussed in the last slide, the option is available for the shareholder to tender the shares in physical form also. But the process will be a little lengthy, more documentation is required as compared to the demat form process. So now we will move over to the process of tender of shares under both the methods. So first manner of participating in the offer is where you convert the existing equity shares which are held in physical form into demat form, and then you tender the shares under the offer. The second is that you follow the process of tendering of shares in physical form in such a manner as is specified in the offer document. So how you participate in the offer when you are holding shares in demat form. So first of all, if you do not have a demat account, you are holding shares in physical form and you intend to tender in demat form. So you will first of all approach a depository participant or a stockbroker. You will have to get two kind of accounts opened. One would be a demat account, one would be a share trading account. Under demat account, once you open the account, you complete the KYC formalities, you will have to tender your physical shares along with the demat requisition slip or demat requisition form. In short, it is called a DRF. Along with the DRF, you have to tender your physical shares. These physical shares will then be forwarded to the registrar of the company and will be converted into demat form. So this process of demat conversion will again, and the account opening, demat account opening, this will take around 15 to 20 days or 25 days depending on the documentation and the manner of submission of document. So once this flow happens, your shares will come in demat form. The second step for you to tender the shares in such offers is to open a share trading account. So for tendering any share under the stock exchange process, you need to tender it through a stockbroker. You cannot go ahead directly and tender the shares in the offer. For doing this, you will go to a stockbroker. You can go to any stockbroker, a small or a larger one. You open a trading account with them. For opening of a trading account, you will have to you have to sign certain forms. You have to give certain KYC documents. You have to give a copy of your PAN card, your Aadhaar, your cancel check. With submission of these documents, your trading account will get operationalized. Once the trading account gets operationalized, then you can go ahead and tender the shares under the offer. For tendering the shares, you have to approach the stockbroker with a tender form. In that tender form, you will mention what all parameters or what all details you are required to be mentioned, like your name, PAN number, the number of shares, the price at which you are tendering, your address, demat account details. Once you submit the tender form to the stockbroker will upload your details on the stock exchange platform. The stock exchange can be BSE or can be NSE. After the submission of the bid, the stockbroker will give you a TRS. Now TRS stands for Transaction Recognition Slip Number. Once you get the TRS number, it is a sufficient evidence that your bid has been submitted. The shares will automatically move from your demat account to the broker or the pool account, and on settlement of the entire transaction, the shares will get accepted and you will get the consideration for those shares. that consideration will also be coming to you directly from the stock exchange through the settlement process, since you have tendered the shares over the stock exchange platform. Now we will move on to the other aspect wherein you intend to tender these shares in physical form. You do not intend to tender the shares in demat form, because again conversion into demat will take around 15, 20, 25 days, and if you are short of time, you can directly go ahead and tender in physical form also. The process is a little different. While tendering in physical form, you have to open a trading account. We will not open a demat account in such case, because we are tendering the shares on the platform of the stock exchange, so it has to go through the stockbroker. So while opening a trading account, you again have to give similar kind of documents to the stockbroker, which will include your KYC documents, which will include your bank details. Once your trading account is opened, you will be given a unique client code, UCC number. UCC number is sufficient evidence that your account has been opened. Once the account is opened, you will fill up the tender form, you will give the original share certificate, and then ask the broker to submit the bid. So bid submission will happen. The broker will mention in the bid that the shares are in physical form and give you a TRS. In this case also, the TRS will contain the similar detail, but in addition will also contain your folio number, the certificate numbers, and the distinctive numbers of the share certificates which have been tendered, because in physical form the shares are identified by the certificate numbers only. Now once your bid is submitted, then you will submit the entire set of documents with the registrar to the offer. Registrar to the offer is again an independent agency appointed under the SEBI process. The registrar to the offer will process your documents, will verify your signatures on the document, whether it is as per the records of the company or not, whether these shares are good for transfer or not, because if there is a signature mismatch, then registrar will reject the documents. It should not happen in any case that a wrong certificate or wrong person tendered the shares and take the money and dispute someone from his hard-earned money. So in such cases, the registrar will do the entire verification of the tender documents, be it the share transfer form, be it the share certificate, be it the authorization letter, along with that your copy of PAN card or the copy of cancel check. Based on that, they will accept the bid. After the bid is accepted, these will be settled through the stock exchange platform again. When you are settling the bid from the stock exchange platform, the advantage is that you immediately get the money within 1 working day of the date of settlement. The account will come directly to your bank account. There will be no other intermediary or no other instruction is required to be given for transfer of funds. The only limitation which has to be taken care of during this process, it is that say the offer closes on a particular date, your document should reach the registrar to the offer within 2 working days from the date of the closure of the offer. If it does not reach over there, you will lose the opportunity and the registrar will reject the shares and return it back to you. So you have to very carefully take care that these shares are received by the registrar within the specified time frame. It's always better to send these shares through a speed post or registered post. Otherwise, you can also send it through a courier wherein your online tracking facility is available, so you exactly know whether the shares have been delivered to the registrar or not. Now coming to the next slide. Now we are talking about the documents which are required to be enclosed or submitted while tendering these shares in physical form and handing it over to the registrar. In the meantime, you can also do a hand delivery. It's not required that you always send it through a speed post or registered post. If you are residing in the same city or the registrar is having a collection center in the same city, you can go to his office and hand over the documents. So while submitting these documents, you have to ensure that certain documents are enclosed or attached to the share transfer form. So first of all, you have to submit the tender form. Tender form contains your details of the bid in terms of how many shares you have tendered, what is the price, what are your personal details in terms of address and folio numbers. Then along with that, you have to give a share transfer form. Share transfer form is a form which is specified under the Companies Act. It is a predefined form wherein you mention certain details with regard to the transferor and transferee. Earlier you were required to affix a stamp duty onto it for share transfer, but now that a stamp duty has to be paid online through any of the depositories, you have to submit a proof of payment of that stamp duty. Then along with that you have to give a self-attested copy of your PAN card, because the registrar, since the share transfer in physical form is not allowed, the registrar will like to verify the details and will like to verify the signatures also as available on the PAN card in case there is a mismatch between the company record and your share transfer form. Then along with that you have to give a duly attested power of attorney if you are not directly the shareholder and you are submitting shares on behalf of someone else. Thereafter, if you are a corporate shareholder, then in terms of corporate shareholder, you are required to give some additional documents. A company is a legal entity. Company cannot take any action by itself. So if someone is signing documents on behalf of the company, his authorization should be available. So the copy of the resolution or the list of authorized signatory or the copy of memorandum, these documents are required to be submitted along with the tender form. Then there may be certain cases where shareholder has passed away in the past, and now the shares are being held by the nominees or the legal heirs of the shareholder. So in such cases you have to attach either the copy of the death certificate, along with that you have to give succession certificate, probate or will. Based on these documents only the shares will be accepted under the offer. If you do not have any of these certificates, your shares will not get accepted. Then along with that there is no requirement of giving the original death certificate. You can provide a notarized copy of these documents also. Then there may be a case where the address of the shareholder has changed over the period. So you have to provide a copy of your Aadhaar card wherein the new address is available. Why this address is required? Because in case there is some further communication or document required, the registrar can contact you and seek these additional documents within the required time frame, so that your bid does not get rejected. If the address is missing or the address is old, then in that case it will not be possible for the registrar to connect with you. Now there are certain key points which have to be taken care of while you tender these shares in physical form. These key points are wherein you have to ensure that the signature which is there on the share transfer deed, it tallies with the original signatures which were there in the record of the company. Because if the signature do not match, then in that case the share certificate will be outrightly rejected and returned to you. You can build in an abundant caution for this kind of situation. Under this abundant caution, you can get your share transfer deed attested by the bank manager where you are having a bank account. So the attestation of bank manager will certify your current signatures which are as on date, and in such cases the share transfer deed will be accepted by the company. So you remove the chance for any kind of rejection, because as a shareholder you would have purchased these shares 10, 20 or 25 years before, and today your signatures have obviously undergone a change, maybe because of age, health issue or your change in writing. So the attestation provides sufficient evidence that these signatures belong to you and you are the legal owners. Then you have to attach the original share certificates. If you do not attach the original share certificate, then your shares will be rejected, because when the buyer or the acquirer will purchase these shares, they will get these shares transferred in their name and will get these shares dematerialized. So original certificate is a mandatory requirement. There can be a situation where the certificate of the company has changed over a period of time, or there was a split in share and you have not received the new share certificate. In such cases, before tendering the bid, you can ask the company for issuance of the duplicate share certificate, and then you tender your bid along with that duplicate share certificate. So these precautions have to be taken upfront. Then whatever copies you are submitting along with the tender form, including the tender form, all these documents have to be self-attested. All the documents have to be signed on all pages by you, so that the document can be taken on record by the registrar. Then these documents should reach the registrar at least within 2 working days after the issue closure, so that your share gets accepted. When we say working days, these working days mean the working days of SEBI. Any kind of SEBI holiday or Saturday or Sunday will not be counted for the purpose of calculation of these 2 working days. Now we move to the next slide, which is how you will receive the payment. This is a process which is being settled through a stock exchange. Under the stock exchange process, the clearing corporation of the stock exchange comes into picture. If we talk about BSE, they have a separate Indian Clearing Corporation Limited. If we talk about NSE, they have NSE Clearing Limited. Both corporate actions are different entities. Depending on which exchange platform the shares have been tendered, this respective settlement agency will come into picture. Now for the settlement of shares, there is a buyer who has tendered the bid for acquisition of shares. You as a seller have given the bid for selling of shares. These both bids are given to the stockbroker. Stockbrokers are in turn registered with the stock exchange. So stock exchange basically they take out the net position or the liabilities of each of the stockbroker and they settle on daily basis as per their settlement cycle. So if the seller broker had to give the shares will move from seller to the buyer. The buyer had to make the payment consideration. The money will move from the buyer's bank account to the seller. But this will not happen directly. It will go through the settlement, your settlement corporation. So each settlement corporation acts on their own modus operandi, but the process is similar, wherein the settlement happens on T+1 basis. So today, if your contract note and the obligations are generated, on the next working day, you will receive the payment for the share. This payment will be directly transferred to your bank account. It will not go to the stockbroker. For that purpose, either NSDL or CDSL as a nodal agency comes into picture, from where your demographic details are taken. Now, when you tender the shares in an open offer, your Demat account always contains a bank account detail. The money will directly go to your bank account. When you are tendering these shares through a stockbroker in physical format, your Demat account does not exist. In such cases, the money will come to the broker first, and then you have to ask the broker to remit this money to your account. So it will not be a direct payment by the stockbroker, by the clearing corporation to you in terms of physical shares. Now the stockbroker will transfer that money to you, but there are certain charges which will be deducted by the stockbroker. These charges are on account of brokerage. These charges are on account of securities transaction tax, stamp duty, and SEBI turnover fees and other applicable charges. So securities transaction tax is another one statutory payment which has to be made directly by you as a buyer seller, and after paying this you will be eligible to the concessional rates of tax benefits available. Now under this, the brokerage and all the charges will be directly deducted by the broker, and you will receive the net of payment. Say for example, you have sold the shares at 100 rupees. The brokerage cost is say 0.5%. The other charges including everything comes to 0.75%. So on 100 rupees, 75 paisa will be deducted and 99.25 rupees will be given to you. So there is no it's not a benchmark that you will always receive that 100 rupees as it is. These charges will be deducted because this is the cost which has to be borne by you as a seller. Any transaction which happens on a stock exchange contains all these charges. In terms of the share certificate, if for example this is an open offer, under open offer there may be acceptance of shares on proportionate basis. Under buyback of shares, there may be acceptance of shares on proportionate basis. So there can be a situation where you have tendered 100 shares. Out of these 100 shares, after acceptance on proportionate basis, your acceptance number comes to 75. So your 75 shares will be retained by the acquirer or by the company, and the remaining 25 shares will be returned to you. Now if you have tendered these shares in Demat form, these shares will be returned back to you in your Demat account. It will be the same Demat account from which the shares have come. It cannot be any other different Demat account. Now, if during this process you close your Demat account, then in that case the shares will land up in the pool account of the stockbroker. The stockbroker will return these shares to you in your new Demat account after he verifies the identity of your new Demat account. In terms of shares which have been tendered in physical form, under physical form you will be giving, say for example, one share certificate of 100 shares. The accepted number is only 75. So in that case the acquirer will first approach the company. the company will be asked to split the share certificate, one share certificate for 75 shares, another share certificate for 25 shares. The 75 shares will be retained by the acquirer, and the remaining 25 shares will be returned back to you through a speed post or registered post within the time frame specified under SEBI regulations. Generally, that time frame is within 10 working days from the date of closure of the offer. When these share certificates are splitted, there won't be any additional cost onto you in terms of as a shareholder. The split will be automatically done at the level of the company, and the remaining shares will be returned to you. Now we come on to the last aspect, which is with regard to the taxability of such consideration. The shares which you sell on the stock exchange platform, these are taxable as long-term capital gain. Long-term capital gains or short-term capital gain. So there is a categorization difference for both these kind of terminologies which I have just used. Long-term is anything wherein you are holding these equity shares for a continuous period of 12 months or more. So if you are holding shares for 12 months, then your share becomes long-term capital asset. If you have purchased these shares within a period of 12 months from the date of sale, then it will be termed as short-term capital asset. The date of sale will be deemed to be the date of the contract note generation, not the date on which you have tendered the shares under the offer. So long-term and short-term both have different kind of taxability under the Income Tax Act. Now we are talking about a scenario where STT, security transaction tax, has been paid on the shares. The security transaction tax is payable at the rate of 0.1% on these shares which are settled through the stock exchange. So short-term capital gains, when this STT is paid, it is taxed at a reduced rate of 15%. Otherwise, the normal short-term capital gain is taxed at the rate of 30%. So when you are selling these shares which have been held for a period of less than 12 months, then you will be taxed at 15% on the profit which you have earned. So profit is nothing but basically your cost of acquisition of shares and your your sale price. So the difference will be taxable as short term. Now we come to the other aspect, which is long term. Under long term, it is a 12-month holding period. 12-month holding period is something wherein if you hold these shares for 12 months, then you will sell these shares and will become long term, and it will be taxed at 10% flat rate, and normal surcharge and education cess will be payable extra. So this was all about the transfer of shares under special situations of buyback, takeover and delisting. I would take your leave now. Thank you very much. Namaskar.